Our Philadelphia Eagles are just 3 weeks away from immortality. At 14-0, we've got an opportunity to make history as the third team in the Super Bowl era to go undefeated through the entire regular season, and the first to do so in the 17-game era. It's not going to be easy, though, particularly today, as we've got two pretty tough games, both of which are at home against the New York Giants and then the Denver Broncos, both of whom are currently fighting for wild card spots in their respective conferences. Despite being 14-0, this has not been an easy season whatsoever. We've had many games, particularly in the second half of the season, in which we have been down by multiple possessions, but these guys continue to find ways to win games, which has kept our undefeated season alive. Last episode, we had two interdivision matchups against the Giants and the football team, both of which were pretty close. We ended up winning both of them, the latter of which off of a game-winning field goal from the best kicker in the National Football League, Zebediah Phoenix II. We had the Giants back on the schedule today after beating them in MetLife 2 weeks ago. As we look at the playoff picture, we are currently obviously the number one seed in the NFC, 2 games ahead of the Jalen Hurts-led Carolina Panthers. If we win here in Week 16 and the Panthers lose, we can officially clinch the number one seed with 2 weeks left to go in the regular season. That starts here against the New York Giants, who are 6-8. Their playoff chances don't look good, but they're not out of it by any stretch either. Although we still have to win these next 3 games to make history as a team, we've got Tykeem Keon, our star receiver, who has a shot at individual history today. As long as he scores 1 receiving touchdown the rest of the year, he will pass Randy Moss and be the sole leader for the most amount of receiving touchdowns in a single season in NFL history. Keon is currently the receiving Triple Crown leader as he leads the league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. He has a small chance, but still a chance, to break the record for both catches in a season and yards. He's going to need around 100 yards per game, and he's going to need around 13 catches per game in order to do that. We know this Giants team very well. We played them in the last episode, featuring very talented quarterback Anthony Cortez III, who played really well in Week 14. Of course, they still have no running game, with both Saquon Barkley and Humphrey Hawksworth still injured, so it'll once again be up to the 2 rookies, Otis Winthrop and Randall Yankee, to lead the way. Tyron Smith is still hurt for the Giants as well, but nonetheless, still a very, very talented team who is really fighting for their playoff lives today. If the Giants lose this game, their season is essentially over, so they know how important it is here to win on the road, and I think this could be a trap game. It's hard to sweep interdivision teams, and we have had a hard time sweeping the Giants throughout this series. Even though the New York Giants have not yet made the playoffs in this Madden franchise, and they've had 4 different head coaches within a 5-year span, they're still a really tough out, and they're still a very, very talented team who we've had a hard time consistently beating. So this is going to be a very challenging game, and one that I'm not going to take lightly. It's the 6-8 New York Giants here at the Link against the 14-0 Philadelphia Eagles, looking to get closer towards history, and hopefully Tykeem Keon can set some history of his own today. Pretty slow start to the game. We're already around 3.5 minutes in, as on 3rd and inches, Rosemont St. Clair gets a nice run up the middle for the first down. Slowly but surely, the Eagles are moving it down the field pretty nicely. They now have it at the 16 as it's a 3rd and 3. Madison looks to throw it. He's going to go short for Tykeem Keon, who's not quite able to beat the record on that play, but he does bring it to the 3-yard line. The Texas connection of Madison and Keon continuing to have a historic season together, as now it's 3rd and goal. Madison calling for an audible. He's not really sure what he wants to do here, as it's going to be a handoff to the outside for Tazwell Hubbard, and he is smothered in the backfield by both Trayvon Merrick and Levante David, as the tight end Dozier Baxby is hurt on the play. That's not particularly good news. 4th and goal at the 3. The Eagles are going to go for it. It's a pass. Madison goes short for his wideout, Devontae Smith, for the touchdown. Although all the attention is deservedly gone towards Tykeem Keon, we cannot undervalue how good Devontae Smith has been this season. Him and Keon are statistically probably the best receiving tandem ever, at least this season. The Giants here on offense with a nice play for Evan Ingram. He gains 22 yards on the ground, bringing it to the 38. That'll lead to a field goal try here from 49 yards out for the New York Giants, looking to cut the lead down to 4. Joe Manning had a nice jump there, but he was unable to block the kick, which does barely go through the uprights. That would wrap up the first quarter. Pretty slow-paced start to the game as the Eagles are on top, 7-3. We move to the second quarter, 3rd and 8 from the 45. Malachi Madison looks to throw it. He's under a little bit of pressure. Goes up the middle for Devontae Smith, who drops the ball. That was right in his hands, too. A very uncharacteristic play from Devontae Smith, which would lead to a punt. And now the Giants have the football from the 40-yard line, the opposing 40-yard line. Great field position, great opportunity to do some damage as Cortez looks to throw it. Connects with his slot receiver, Cooper Kupp. First guy in, last guy out. Hard hat, lunch pail, blue-collar mentality, sneaky athlete, and of course, the guy you'd let your daughter date. Following play, Cortez up the middle, back for Kupp. He gets another first down. The Giants are starting to move it down the field, and this second quarter has also gone very quickly. Only 2.5 minutes left in the half. First down, Cortez connects with Mecole Hardman for the touchdown. Hardman scored twice when these two teams faced off against each other in Week 14. He adds another one here in Week 16, and the New York Giants now lead this game 10-7. The Eagles with the ball late in the half, 3rd and 3. Madison goes short for a wide-open Devontae Smith, who is just shy of the 50-yard line. Nice gain of 17, which will keep the chains moving. Look at the clock, only 25 seconds left now. The Eagles have a timeout left from the 28. Madison on 3rd and 10. His pass is deflected, incomplete. Good coverage by the New York defense, and that'll bring out the field goal unit. 45-yard attempt for Zebediah Phoenix the second. His kick is good, and this game is now tied up at 10. A very even first half. Both offenses taking the slow and steady approach, which these are two of the faster-paced offenses in the league, so I'm surprised that they've been moving as slowly as they have. Our focus here in the second half is certainly going to be on running the ball. The run game has not been good at all today. And then defensively, got to stop the intermediate pass. Anthony Cortez III has a perfect passer rating in the intermediate game today, so we certainly want to prevent that. Now the third quarter, Philadelphia opens up with the ball. Madison goes short for Dozier Baxby with a great block from Tykeem Keon. Keon's not just a receiver, he can block too. Braxby brings it to the 43-yard line for probably the longest offensive play of the day from either team. It's a 36-yard gain. Following play, Madison connects with Tykeem Keon. He was under a ton of pressure making that throw, but Keon is able to get 20 yards, which will move the chains. Now at the 4, Philadelphia looking to take the lead back. Madison on 1st and goal. Connects with J.T. DeMarco for the touchdown. Still no score yet today for Tykeem Keon. He only has 2 games all year in which he has not scored yet. So it's still only a matter of time until he gets his touchdown. But 2 of the Eagles' starting receivers have scored today, and Tykeem Keon is not one of them. New York with the ball back. Here's Otis Winthrop, the rookie out of West Georgia, to the 26. Otis Winthrop, who's been pretty bad when he's played this year for the Giants, has actually played pretty well today. He's been good both times the Giants have played the Eagles. 3rd and 2. Cortez goes short for Cooper Kupp, and we are tied at 17. Good start offensively for both teams here in the third quarter. The Eagles start with a score, and the Giants answer back with a score of their own. 17-17, 3rd and 6. Nice throw and catch from Madison over to Tykeem Keon. That'll wrap up the third quarter. Very close game here, tied at 17. Again, not a blowout for the 14-0 Eagles, who aren't down, but they've still got some work to do if they want to win this game. 3rd and 1. Madison's pass for Tykeem Keon is incomplete. 4th and 1. They're going to keep the offense out on the field and go for it. It's going to be a handoff for Tazwell Hubbard with wide open rushing room. Touchdown for Tazwell Hubbard. And the Philadelphia Eagles are back on top. Hubbard has not had a great day today. The Giants' run defense has been fantastic, but he does get a nice run there, putting Philadelphia ahead 24-17. 3rd down now for the Giants. Cortez goes short up the middle for Cooper Kupp, who continues to be the go-to guy for the Giants offense today, bringing it to the 40-yard line. Kupp nearing the 100 yards mark. If you started him in your fantasy playoffs, you're having yourself a nice day probably. Cortez looking to throw it, goes up the middle, this time for Mecole Hardman. who gets 14 yards as the former Westlake offensive guard Avery Horn is hurt on the play. 2nd and goal now from the 5. Cortez looking to scramble with it to the end zone. It's picked off! What a play by C.J. Thomas for his NFL-leading 7th interception of the year. Thomas does an incredible job of keeping both feet in bounds. A huge turnover in the red zone for the Eagles, who now have it back on offense. Madison scrambling with it, takes a shot downfield, caught by Tykeem Keon, and that's his 24th receiving touchdown of the year, which is an all-time NFL record. Fitting it happens on a 61-yard bomb from Malachi Madison, and Tykeem Keon now stands alone, passing Randy Moss, who scored 23 touchdowns for the 2007 New England Patriots, who, just like this Eagles team, were undefeated through the regular season. The Giants have to go for it here on a 4th and 10. Winthrop is stopped by Nehemiah Richardson. It has been all Philadelphia here in the 4th quarter. They would choose some clock for a couple minutes, going to add a field goal here with Zebediah Phoenix. It is now a 3-score game, and it was tied like 7 minutes ago at the start of the quarter. This shows that when the Eagles are on, they can get on a big run, and I think there is no better team than the Eagles in the 4th quarter of games this year. 3rd and 2, Cortez has to launch a prayer downfield. It's incomplete. We do have a flag on the play. That's going to be a defensive pass interference on C.J. Thomas, who tried to play from a ball, but he had too much contact with Mecole Hardman, which will bring the Giants all the way to the red zone. 1st and goal now at the 1. It's a wide-open touchdown for D. McCurdy, who is actually the Giants' leading receiver this year. Not Kupp, not Hardman, not Ingram, not Saquon Barkley. It's D. McCurdy. The onside kick is going to be recovered by, fittingly, Tykeem Keon. The Eagles would choose some more clock for a little bit, and they're going to go for another field goal. 52-yard attempt for Zebediah Phoenix, who easily splits it down the uprights. 37-24. That's a final here at the Link. The Philadelphia Eagles are now 15-0, 2 games away from the perfect season, and Tykeem Keon does break the all-time record for receiving touchdowns in a season as the Eagles, with a dominant 4th quarter, propel themselves over the Giants. Malachi Madison with a very strong game, 299 yards, 3 touchdowns. He just had a very clean game. He avoided mistakes, and ultimately that's why we won. Anthony Cortez was pretty good too. He wasn't great, but he was still very, very solid. Tazewell Hubbard was not great. He did score a nice touchdown late. Otis Winthrop was pretty impressive. He had a big game in the air the first time we played them, and now he has a nice day on the ground. Cooper Kupp and Tykeem Keon, the standouts in the passing game, along with Devontae Smith. Keon had 150 yards and a touchdown, so not only did he break the touchdowns record, but he has positioned himself very well to break Calvin Johnson's receiving yards record, possibly this week, against the Denver Broncos here, Week 17, back at home. The Broncos are a really good team. They're 9-6. They have an opportunity to clinch a playoff spot today, led by the 41-year-old quarterback, Throw Rogan, or as you may know him, Aaron Rodgers, who's been with the Broncos the past 3 seasons and has been a little bit disappointing with Denver, but they have an opportunity to make the playoffs this year with Rodgers with a win today against us. We have not clinched the 1 seed. Carolina did win their game this week, so now as it stands, if we win today or Carolina loses, we can officially clinch the number 1 seed going into Week 18. 5 teams in the NFC have clinched playoff spots, only 1 in the AFC. That's the Baltimore Ravens, who have already clinched the top seed with a 13-2 record, led by quarterback Lamar Jackson. So as we talked about with Tykeem Keon's records, of course, he now stands alone for the most receiving touchdowns in a season in NFL history. He is currently 5th in yards and is 147 away from tying the all-time great Calvin Johnson, who, for those who don't know, is my favorite athlete of all time. Keon has 124 receptions. He's like 23 or 24 away from the all-time record, which was set a few years back by Michael Thomas of the New Orleans Saints. Let's look at this Denver Broncos team, a certainly talented unit who, as I said, can clinch a playoff spot along with the AFC West title today. They acquired Fred Warner at the trade deadline from the Niners. His numbers this year are surprisingly low. I don't know why that is, but yeah, he hasn't been all that crazy good for them. They do, of course, have Aaron Rodgers, who is not the same player he once was in Green Bay, but is still very productive at 41 years old. The Broncos have retained a large piece of their core, guys like Javonte Williams, Bradley Chubb, Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, and Patrick Surtain II are all still here. The Broncos are sort of a Westlake of the AFC. They have a lot of former Westlake Hornets, just like us. So as I said, they can clinch a playoff spot today with a win and Kansas City Chiefs loss. The Denver Broncos can officially clinch the AFC West title and will make it back to the playoffs for the first time in the Aaron Rodgers era. It should be a fun one here in Philadelphia. The most challenging game left on our schedule, which doesn't say much because we only have 2 games left. But of these next 2 weeks against the Broncos and the Chargers, the Broncos are definitely the better team than LA. So if we win this game here, then we have a very realistic shot of going 17-0, but we've got to focus on this game here. We're not going to play any of our backups today. We still have not clinched the #1 seed. Maybe we will next week against the Chargers, depending on what happens in this game, but unless this is like a blowout or something, the starters are going to play the entire game from start to finish. Should be a fun one here against Aaron Rodgers and the Broncos, who open up on offense. First play from scrimmage, Rodgers looks to throw it under a little bit of pressure, and he will connect with Jerry Big Booty Judge Jeudy for a gain of 18 yards. Jeudy, the former first-round pick out of the University of Alabama, as it's 3rd and 1. Throw Rogan under pressure, and he is rocked in the pocket by J.J. Watt for a loss of about 9. Watt with his 5th sack of the year, as the Broncos are going to go for a 61-yard field goal. Odd play call here. They're not in the altitude of Denver, so yeah, I don't really know why they did that. And they also don't have Zebediah Phoenix as their kicker. Zebediah Phoenix has never gotten to play in Denver. I feel like he can make like an 80-yarder there if he wanted to. So the Eagles have the ball now, looking for the lead here in their all-black jerseys, as Tazwell Hubbard has wide-open rushing room for about as easy as a touchdown as you'll ever see. The Broncos stacked the box. They had no safeties back. They didn't even have their linebackers back. And, well, that backfired. They were just trying to send a whole ton of pressure, but Tazwell Hubbard finds the open gap, and the Eagles now lead 7-0. So the Broncos have it back. Play action fake for Williams. It's a short throw for the tight end, Trace Bennett-Saylord, who gets a nice gain. No more Noah Fant here in Denver. He was actually part of the Aaron Rodgers trade. So Fant is currently playing up in Lambeau with the Green Bay Packers. 3rd and 6 from the 18. Rodgers looks to throw, and he goes up the middle again for Trace Bennett-Saylord, who brings it to the 6. That'll wrap up the first quarter. The Broncos have outsnapped the Eagles today 19-4 on offense, but despite that, the Eagles are winning 7-0. Denver's going to look to change that here on the first play of the second quarter, as it's a 3rd and goal from the 2. Sutton in motion. Rodgers connects with Jerry Jeudy for the touchdown, and the Denver Broncos are going to tie the game up at 7. They didn't score in the first quarter, but on the first play of quarter number 2, the Broncos are on the board. The Eagles have it back, 3rd and 8. Madison connects with his running back, Rosemond St. Clair, who brings it to the 39-yard line. Nice gain for St. Clair, now a 3rd and 2 from the 31. Madison looks to throw it. He's going to roll out to the right. He has an open man. It's Devontae Smith, who just makes sure he catches the ball, pushed down by his former Alabama teammate, Patrick Surtain. 3rd and 10. Madison has to throw it away. Nobody was open, and he was under a lot of pressure, so that'll bring out the field goal team. 31-yard attempt here for Zebediah Phoenix. The kick is good, and the Eagles will regain the lead, as it is now 10-7. Good possession there for Philadelphia, as the Broncos have it back. 2nd and 7, halfway through quarter number 2. From the 28-yard line, Sutton again in motion. Aaron Rodgers is in the zone. That's not good, as he connects with the tight end, Trace Bennett-Saylord, who's had a really good game today for Denver, as Hannibal Savage is injured. That's not good news. The Broncos would move it all the way to the red zone here now at the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 6 from the 9. The Broncos looking to take the lead back. Rodgers still in the zone as he goes short for Courtland Sutton, the veteran out of Southern Methodist University, the former Mustang. Puts the Broncos ahead 14-10. The Eagles now have the ball back, 3rd and 9, looking to take the lead here on this possession as Madison again rolls out to the right, and he's going to get Tykeem Keon for a gain of 21. Good job by Keon to recognize that the middle of the field was open, and good timing by Madison to be patient and wait for him to get open. Down to 44 seconds and 2 timeouts. It's a short pass for Devontae Smith, who stiff arms Patrick Surtain out of bounds. Not only were they former Alabama teammates, but they were drafted right next to each other. Surtain was the 9th pick in the 2021 draft. Devontae Smith, of course, was number 10. First and goal. It's a touchdown for Tykeem Keon, his 25th of the season. And the Eagles are back ahead with just 18 seconds left to go in the first half, as it's 17-14. The Eagles would actually get the ball back here with just 1 second left in the half. Madison looks to throw it, takes a shot downfield. It's caught by Keon, who is stopped just shy of the end zone. What could have been? Tykeem Keon nearly with an unbelievable touchdown to end the first half. Keon already has over 100 yards today. He is very, very close to Calvin Johnson's yards record as that wraps up the first half. 17-14, Eagles up ahead. Of course, the big storyline in the second half is Tykeem Keon breaking that record. He's only going to need another catch or two, probably around 30 yards away at this point. So it should happen here in the second half. Philadelphia with the football. 3rd and 5. They choose to try to catch Denver off guard and run it up the middle with St. Clair, and it backfires as he loses a yard. Don't let them know your next move, except the Broncos saw that coming from a mile away and stopped them. Denver with it back. Nice throw for a first down. Great job by the receiver to fight for extra yardage as it's a nice gain of 15. We're going to go 5 minutes later here. The Broncos have been moving the ball slowly but surely down the field with just 10 seconds left in the quarter. It's Trace Bennett-Saylord who scores the wide-open touchdown. A very slow, methodical, well-paced drive from the veteran Aaron Rodgers and the Broncos, who now have the lead. 21-17. The Eagles find themselves down again. Going into the fourth quarter, can they pull off another comeback and get the win? As Madison goes short for Tykeem Keon, wrapped up after a gain of about 11 by Bradley Chubb. And that play right there will do it. Tykeem Keon breaks Calvin Johnson's record for the most receiving yards in a single season in NFL history. Calvin Johnson, of course, is one of the all-time greats, so it's quite the honor for Tykeem Keon to break that mark. Keon now has more touchdown catches and receiving yards in a single season than anybody in NFL history, and he has a real shot of breaking the receptions record as well. Nice gain of 21 for St. Clair, now at the 3, 1st and goal. Handoff for Tazewell Hubbard, who bullies the defender. That was Fred Warner, who just got annihilated by Tazewell Hubbard. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 10th on the year, and the Eagles are back ahead, 24-21. Another very slow-paced drive for the Broncos. Only 4.5 minutes left in the quarter, as it's a short throw again for the tight end, Trace Bennett-Saylord, who has played out of his mind today. He has been phenomenal for the Denver Broncos, as it's now a 3rd and goal. Just over 2 minutes left to go from the 5. Rodgers looking to throw it. He's going to dump it off short for the touchdown. Big booty Jerry Jeudy with his 2nd touchdown of the ball game. And the Denver Broncos are now ahead 28-24 at the 2-minute warning. Can the Eagles offense drive down the field and take the lead? Or can Denver stop the undefeated season as St. Clair brings it to the 48-yard line? 2nd and 3 now at the 44. Time's ticking. Under a minute and a half to go. Devontae Smith with the catch. That pass nearly picked off. The Eagles were lucky that Smith came down with it. Down to 49 seconds. It's a 2nd and 10. Madison on the out route. Double covered. And it's still caught by Tykeem Keon. 1st and 10 now at the 13. The Eagles still with all 3 of their timeouts. Madison looks to throw it. Up the middle for Tykeem Keon. His 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Eagles take the lead with 40 seconds to go. What a great job from Tykeem Keon, who continues to completely play out of his mind today. Keon is now the first receiver in NFL history to amass 2,000 receiving yards in a single season. 33 seconds left for the Broncos. Field goal ties, touchdown win. That's a good start. Bennett-Saylord brings it to the 50. Denver calls timeout number 1. Now they're down to just 1 timeout from the 40-yard line. Rodgers goes short on the slant route for Miles Boykin. He brings it to the 29, and that will put Denver in field goal range. As the Broncos call their final timeout, the Eagles would then look to ice the kicker. It's a 46-yard attempt here for the Denver Broncos to tie the game. The kick is up. Looks shaky, but it is good. 31-31. 1 second left on the clock. The Eagles are going to run another play as Madison looks to throw it. Takes his time. Heaves up a prayer downfield. This one is tipped and caught by Keon. who does not quite get the touchdown. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Imagine if Tykeem Keon walked it off there. That would have been wild. Through 4 quarters, we do not have a winner. 31-31 for the first time this season. The Eagles are going to overtime. This coin toss is very important. As you guys know, on this channel, tails never fails. And unfortunately for us, the Broncos have been paying attention. They choose tails, they win the toss, they're going to start on offense. So the Denver Broncos can look to move down the field. If they score a touchdown on this drive, we will not get the ball back. The Broncos could win, and that would officially end the undefeated season. So the defense has got to get a stop here. 3rd and 3. Rodgers looks to throw it, and it's dropped by 2 players. Jerry Jeudy and Javonte Williams both had it in their hands, and they both dropped it. So now all the Eagles need on this drive is a field goal to win the game. 2nd and 8. Madison runs with it, trucking his way to the 50. Big run for Malachi Madison. Now it's a 3rd and 7. Look out for number 9 on the right side of your screen. I've got to imagine the Eagles are really going to be looking for Tykeem Keon on this play, as it's a play-action fake. Madison looks to throw it. Has Tykeem Keon open, who is wrapped up at the 23-yard line. Patrick Surtain is a great corner, and he has just gotten ripped to shreds today by both Devontae Smith and Tykeem Keon. 2nd and 5 at the 6. Madison scrambling with it. Looking for the end zone. It's caught by Tykeem Keon, and the Eagles are going to win it. 37-31. A historic game in Philadelphia, but fittingly, it's Tykeem Keon with his 3rd touchdown of the game, his 27th of the year, and the undefeated season is going to survive another day. What a game. What a finish. What a performance by Tykeem Keon, who now has more receiving yards than anybody in NFL history. Malachi Madison played out of his mind. In my opinion, his best game as an Eagle. He was perfect in the second half and overtime. Really did not miss any throws after halftime. Aaron Rodgers was also fantastic. A full-on QB duel between one of the all-time greats and hopefully one of the future all-time greats. Busy day for Javonte Williams. Tezwell Hubbard was also good. So was Tykeem Keon. He caught 18 passes for 314 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not to take anything away from Trace Bennett-Saylord, who was ridiculous in his own right with 11 for 148 in a score, but Tykeem Keon had nearly 200 more yards from him. The best career game for Tykeem Keon, which says a lot because he's had some rivaling performances. Shout out to Zebediah Phoenix as well. He was good too. So we are now 16-0. Unsurprisingly, Tykeem Keon wins NFC Offensive Player of the Week, joined by Aaron Rodgers, along with Russell Ingram Jr. and Niles Onwualu, 2 players who we almost drafted. Ironically, we almost picked Ingram over Tykeem Keon back in year 1. Obviously, we chose Keon, and I think it's fair to say it worked out. So Tykeem Keon now has the all-time record for the most receiving touchdowns in a single season and the most receiving yards. He also has a very real chance to break the catches record. He sits at 142. He's going to need 7 to tie Michael Thomas and 8 to beat Michael Thomas. Even though we're 16-0 when we've clinched the 1 seed, we're still going to have a number of starters at least start the game, and we're going to have Tykeem Keon in the entire time, or at least until he catches 8 passes to break Michael Thomas's record. So, obviously, next week is a historic game. We're 16-0. We have an opportunity to make history. We're not the only team with an opportunity at history. The Seattle Seahawks are 0-16. Imagine if we have a team go 17-0 and 0-17 in the same season. Last year, the Atlanta Falcons entered the final week of the season 0-16, and they won their final game. The Seahawks played the Buccaneers, who have already clinched a playoff spot, so I don't really know how much they're going to be trying. The Seahawks have had a number of close games, just like us, which is kind of fitting. As we look at our scores, particularly in the second half of the season, we've had so many close games the entire season. We've had so many games where we've been down and we've looked out of it, including this past week against the Denver Broncos, but we continue to find ways to win, and now we've only got one more game left on the schedule against the 4-12 Los Angeles Chargers at SoFi Stadium. I don't think we've played at SoFi at all in this entire franchise series, so we finally get an opportunity to do it here in what could be the last regular season game that we play in this series, because this is going to be the last full season. We're obviously going to be doing a long-term sim with this team as well, which is going to span a few episodes, but I assume we're probably not going to play any regular season games. So this is going to be the last regular season game of the series, and it's going to be an important one to determine if we can go 17-0. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.